Well, folks, Leinster and La Rochelle. Replay of the last couple of Champions League finals, and this time it's Leinster who get the job done. 16 points to 9, only one try in the game, bloody wet. Go through some key events and stats, and you guys can let us know your thoughts. Not many games are getting me up at 4:15 in the morning, which are not internationals, but I did get up for this one. As you can tell, the sun is just starting to rise here in NZ, but yeah, pretty good game. Felt like a test match. These two teams don't like each other. A lot of penalties, a couple of cards. Leinster scrum under a bit of pressure, but the La Rochelle line-out also with a few issues. And yeah, pretty crazy stuff. I mean, started all right for La Rochelle. Leinster conceded a penalty at the breakdown. Astoy slots a three-pointer, so good lead for them. O'Brien gets taken without the ball by Bottia. Lades knocks on a high ball. There's a big scrum with a bit of handbags, which leads to, I don't know, 2 yellow cards, one each way. Dante gets yellow carded, and so does McCarthy. Just playing silly buggers, basically. There's no need for it, but pretty fiery, as I say. These two teams have met before, and there was certainly a fair bit of tension. So 14 on 14, and that's where Leinster get their try, man. First score of the game. No indication it's going to be the last try of the game, but it is. It's Jordan Lama. I mean, Leinster had a 5-metre tap, basically. Couple of phases, spread the ball wide, some pretty good hands in the wet, and Lama goes through unopposed. So really good job from the Leinster guys to compress the La Rochelle defence. So 7 points to 3. But as I say, that's the final try of the game. Tawa Kubalo puts in a nice chip. Harry Byrne, who's playing at 10, gets taken in the air. The commentary team I've got are convinced it's a red card, but it's not any card. It's just a penalty. So, yeah, I think was it Ben K? I'm not actually sure. But, yeah, got a few of the big calls. I don't want to say wrong, but, yeah, called a few of them with a differing point of view from the referees anyway. But, yeah, it seemed like there was a couple of guys kind of clambering over each other to get towards Harry Byrne, who was still in the air. So he gets taken out. Fortunately for him, he's okay, although he does only make one half of the match, which is pretty unfortunate because it seems like Leinster are down some guys at 10, but Kieran Frawley proved to be all right. Kicking game looking dangerous from La Rochelle, to be fair. The crowd's very vocal. Gibson Park at one point when they've got the kicking duel going on just knocks it on cold, which maybe speaks to the conditions, but not ideal. And then the Leinster scrum, it's under pressure, man. They go back to 15 on 15. La Rochelle up for touch. They get their maul going, which is, bringing back memories of the final from last year. They get advantage. They go again. Bottia goes over, but he's clearly taken a second push off the ground with his legs to crawl over. So it was an on-field no try, and the TMO confirms it. So that's the one time that the La Rochelle boys were able to get over the whitewash, but not to be. Dante wins a penalty at the breakdown. Leinster's lineout's messy. It kind of speaks to the wet conditions that neither side was able to get that much flow by this point. The next chance they got, though, La Rochelle, when they did get a scrum penalty, they opted for the 3. That one, unfortunately for Harry Byrne, basically goes back to him kicking the ball dead. But 7 points to 6. And then Frawley comes on for Byrne, who's picked up a knock right before halftime. His first action of the game is to kick a penalty, and he slots it coolly. So 10 points to 6 lead for Leinster at halftime. Leinster have had more ball, 55%, but less territory, 48%. So run meters is only 108 to 124. Leinster just edging it, but that's low. That's very low, and it absolutely speaks to the wet nature of the game. But both sides defensively solid. La Rochelle's made 54 or 56 tackles. Leinster have made 41 from 45. So both sides in the 90s with the defensive shift. So, that's what I've mentioned about it being kind of test match level. Second half, La Rochelle go for a close range line-out move. Stopped by Leinster once again. Defensively on their own 5-metre line, man, Leinster were very, very solid. La Rochelle had a 5-metre scrum on 46 minutes. Gets them a penalty. They tap it. They get held up. So it's another chance close range to Leinster's line. Can't break through that defence. 50 minutes. Leinster concede another penalty at scrum time. It's becoming a real issue. This time they opt for the 3. So they make it a 1-point game. La Rochelle, and at times, man, you got to wonder if they'd taken all these penalties close range, maybe it's a different result, but it's a 1-point game. But then Leinster, they finally get some possession in the second half after defending for large periods, 58 minutes in La Rochelle's 22 on the back of a couple of penalties. And Leinster, knowing that it's a close game, they do opt for 3. They don't go for touch, so they opt for the 3. So 13 points, they don't restore that 4-point lead, make La Rochelle, have 2 doubts in their mind. Like, if next time you get a penalty, do you go for the 3 or do you go for touch? You could probably just tick through the 3s, but they get stuck in that we need to get a try mode. 60 minutes, La Rochelle win a penalty. It's Bougari at the breakdown, basically from the restart, and they do go for touch. But then Leinster steal a line out 5 metres out. Well, actually, when I say Leinster steal a line out, it was more that La Rochelle knocked the line out forward. The replay shows that James Ryan was playing the La Rochelle guy's arm in the air, so it should have been a penalty to La Rochelle. But there's been so much yapping from both sides, to be honest, that the ref is not willing to listen to anybody. So he basically tells the La Rochelle guys to bugger off. I think if both sides had been a bit cooler, he would have been more receptive. Like, only Ringrose really had a good rapport going on with the referee. So, they get away with one. Leinster there, but as I said, managing the referee is certainly a part of rugby. 64 minutes, it's the first missed penalty from Ustoy. He pushes that one to the right, so when they do opt for the 3, he misses that one, didn't strike it that well. But more La Rochelle pressure. Keenan does well to clean up in the backfield from a kick through. Leinster win a wee kicking duel with 10 minutes to go. Frawley's got a chance to slot a droppy. It's actually not that far away. It's a pretty good hit, but not quite. Jameson Gibson Park has a weird moment on 72 minutes where he has a failed mark. Like, he tries to take a mark, but he's just outside the 22, and then he proceeds to kick it out on the full. I mean, if you haven't been able to get the mark, it means you have taken it back into the 22, which means you can't kick it on the full, but he kicks it on the full. And that gives La Rochelle a chance, man. You're thinking, eventually, if they go close range, they're eventually going to get it done, but nope. Leinster offside. La Rochelle for touch again. They knock it on. So Leinster holds on again. And then Josh Van der Fleer on 78 minutes, man, wins a penalty at the breakdown. My note there is that game. Leinster opt for a 60-metre penalty, and you're basically just hoping, because there's 1 minute to go, let the clock go into the red, and then just kick the leather off the ball. As long as you kick it dead, it doesn't matter. Frawley just kicks the penalty anyway. Hell of a kick. He looks absolutely chuffed. Can that guy get a start at 10? We'll have to wait and see, but man, finishes 16 points to 9. Crazy finish to the game. Frawley's got a hell of a boot, man. Possession finishes 53-47 to Leinster. Territory 57-43 to La Rochelle. So they had the territory, but not the possession. Run meters 303 to 267. So La Rochelle edged that in the second half. Defenders beaten 16-7. Again, that's in La Rochelle's favour, but turnovers 1 is 5-4 in Leinster's favour. So all the stats, man, very tight. Clean breaks 2-2. One area where Leinster were better was their line-out, 12 from 13. La Rochelle, 11 from 14, so they missed a few, although there was that one controversial one. But yeah, Leinster's line-out and the wet were better numbers, but La Rochelle's scrum was better. So man, it's a flip of a coin in so many areas of this game. Penalties conceded 13-10, Leinster having a couple more. Individuals, Doolan, who gets man of the match, was solid at the back. 114 metres, 2 defenders beaten, 2 clean breaks. Doris had 56 metres, which was, I think, equal with Keenan for the top, so probably more hard-earned metres than Keenan's from fullback, to be fair. So Doris is a proper unit. Tonga had 3 defenders beaten. Warity had 17 tackles. James Ryan had 17 tackles. But yeah, crazy game. La Rochelle lose a game in Europe, which has been pretty hard thing to come by. And Leinster, no trophy for this one, but they'll feel pretty pleased with themselves to go to La Rochelle and get an away win. So there you go, folks. Big game in Europe. If you want to see this jersey, not in Europe, but when I was in China, getting told not to film, but I was wearing a Leinster jersey. Maybe it's because I was wearing a Leinster jersey that I got told not to film. That's up there, 2 Cents on Tour. It's another channel I've got going, which is totally different, but it has the odd rugby jersey pop up, and in this case it was Leinster. But yeah, you guys let us know your thoughts on the game. Check out the other channel, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.